Wrestling buddies want to be your buddy.
What's going on?
Hey, buddy. Buddy!
What's up, everybody? This is the Wrestling Compadres Slamcast coming to you from Fox Sports. Special bonus video because we wanted to talk all about Impact Wrestling. There's a lot of changes that have been going on, a lot of good things we're very excited for. So with that said, let's introduce everyone. I'm Jonny Loquasto. I'm at jquasto on Twitter. This is Carrlyn Bathe
At Carrlyn Bathe on everything.
That's Dale Rutledge at
The Walking Dale.
And that's Scott Narver at
Curtain Jerks.
All right, so let's get into it. So a lot of news.
Dilapidated boat was taken.
Aw, your life is hard.
So, a lot of changes the past couple of weeks. Billy Corgan essentially kind of saved the company. Well, you could argue Matt Hardy also saved the company, which who would have thought?
Couple of factors in place, but Billy Corgan is the new TNA president.
He's the new TNA president.
Got that money.
Essentially because he put the money up that was necessary to keep things going, which is twofold. Number one, it's great that things are still going. And number two, that means Dixie Carter has less power, which hallelujah for that. So, Scotty, I know you love TNA. You always have. What are your initial thoughts?
And Dixie Carter, right?
Oh, I'm smitten with Dixie.
Oh, boy.
Big time.
You said spitting on Dixie, right?
Spitting. She has put herself in a different position in the company. She still seems to be an on-air personality, which I think is a good fit for her, that we know her association with the company. Love her or hate her, it's a reaction. And Billy being in charge, Billy having this creative output that he has and being involved with these stories of the final deletion and decay and all this unusual stuff, clearly has a different vision.
Yeah.
And has enthusiasm. I think that's what's huge, is to have someone with the enthusiasm and injecting it in their product, and it's showing. So him being in this position now as the president, on air, not as strong, but it's him behind the scenes is fantastic.
And he might get more comfortable being in front of the camera over time. But one thing that is obvious to me as I watch the product, and maybe obvious to you guys, is the people really seem to enjoy working for Billy Corgan. And I've also heard that. We all have friends that work for TNA or have worked for Impact Wrestling. I've never heard one person say a bad thing about working with Billy Corgan. Where Dixie,
Now, it's weird that he would be the person who would have trouble in front of a camera when he spent a majority of what we know him from.
he's a singer, though.
It's but still, you get stage presence out of it one way or the other.
Like thousands and thousands of people.
For years and years.
Years and years and
but
years.
I will say, he did run his own wrestling promotion. I forget what the name of it was, but at least that seemed to have taught him how to run a business and how he likes things to go. So it's cool that he got that experience from it and is a really good businessman for something that he's been passionate about. Remember when he was in ECW and he smashed his guitar on, I forget who, but that was years and years ago now. But I love when guys like him can get into the business and be as passionate. It's like all of us. I mean, we do other things for sure.
If we had the money, we'd do it.
Exactly. So I don't know.
I got $3.
Yeah.
What can I do in TNA?
Can I borrow $2?
I'd probably buy a house first.
I would invest. Why not?
Well, you do not belong in wrestling if you're thinking logically right away, like,
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a house.
You buy a dilapidated boat and you like it.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, that goes right into the Hardys. Everything that the Hardys got going on.
So good.
Finally, Jeff is on board.
Here's
Get it?
I do.
Because a boat.
Here's the amazing thing, and Dale and Scotty, we were all at SummerSlam weekend in New York. There were delete chants, there were final deletion chants, there were Hardy chants at every single event we went to over the weekend. You rarely have ever seen that.
From another company,
Yes.
a lesser company than WWE, which is the case
Which
for
is not
everybody.
a disrespectful thing to say. Bottom line is,
Popularity-wise, that's
Right.
It's
of course.
a WWE is a juggernaut, but to
Yes.
have something relevant in pop culture of wrestling that is as exciting as it is, like I had worn my broken Matt Hardy shirt at Raw, and there were groups of super fans that would look and go like, "Yeah, delete."
you know another T-shirt I saw this weekend?
What?
I saw a couple of Dummy Yeah T-shirts.
I saw a couple of Senior
Ooh.
Benjamin shirts.
Wonderful.
So it's great. It's great that there is something exciting somewhere else, and I think that's in part to what I've been saying that TNA's been doing for a while, is they give these guys creative freedom.
Yes.
If they have an idea, they give them the space to run with it. And yeah, they probably wrangle it and stuff here and there, which is good.
Not the Hardys. There's no wrangling.
Not the Hardys.
Well, who knows what they might have stopped the Hardys from doing?
That's fair. That's
True.
fair.
What
But I mean,
haven't they done?
But it's it's a television product that this is something we always complain about from WWE is let them speak. Roman Reigns, a classic example.
Ugh.
A guy on a script that's saying something that we feel is disingenuous. Not the Hardys. Not at all. They are being what they want to be.
Is there anyone on TNA that doesn't feel genuine, where maybe they are giving them the script and they're just performing it?
No, speaking of genuine, the formerly Damien Sandow, Aaron Rex, debuted very recently, and he spoke from the heart and was very vocal about his former employer.
Taking a few digs.
And his feeling, and whether or not they were digs, whatever. Bottom line is he was very passionate, and he's must-watch television, and I think he's the kind of guy that will draw ratings. Don't you think, Dale?
I mean, I think it's to be seen. I like the idea of him getting to do what he wants because he always felt like such a creative force over there. He did every single thing that they asked him to do, and the crowd loved it. Does that equate to ratings? I don't know because
Ratings
I will
were
say
up the week he debuted.
Yeah, but when you're starting at a pretty low number, it's not that hard to make a flex on the numbers.
But it's been going up gradually since the final deletion, and it went up another like 50 to 100,000 views the first week he was on TV.
Regardless, he looks pretty different and has a different name, so you have to be looking for where is Damien Sandow now, also known as Aaron Rex. So does it equate to ratings? I don't know, but does it make me happy that he has a home, that he can be who he wants to be and who he will surely make 10 times better than what Damien Sandow or Mizdow was? That is a great prospect in my book.
And Carrlyn, what does it mean to you? Because here's the man on the desk right here, and in another form previously as Damien Mizdow, and I know you're a big fan.
Is he enough to draw you into TNA?
He's not enough to draw me into TNA, but it makes my heart happy knowing that he chose to go there. That says a lot about the company. That says a lot that he picked that as his final destination after WWE. That's huge. He put faith in them just as they put faith in him. And he showed up, I think, I watched the clip. It wasn't just like a t-shirts and jeans, just looking like himself.
Like a dress shirt.
Or dress shirt.
Yeah.
Like, just looked very cash, but as if he were Aaron standing in the ring, the human, making the choice that he wanted to belong there. That was pretty cool. So that it made my heart happy, I would say.
So it at least brought you to watch the clips.
It put eyes on it for me. I put eyes on it because of him. Absolutely.
So that's something. That's always a start. Whether or not you watch the show the entire time, you go, wait, what's going on?
I think I'm the perfect example of the person that has a curiosity because of the crazy things that they've been doing. I watched the final deletion after the fact.
Yeah, you did.
But
still,
I'm that fan that's like, what's happening in TNA? And I'll watch it because of the crazy things that are happening.
And that's a great start.
Yeah.
That's a great start for anybody that, if whatever wrestling show it may be, but if there's something going on, you hear about it enough, you go, what is this?
Yeah.
Got to go check it out. You know?
Got me.
And when it comes down to it, their ratings are going up. People are watching. Whether or not it's just online or they're tuning into Pop TV every week, ratings are going up. And I do believe Aaron Rex, Damien Sandow, whatever you want to call him, I do think he's going to help draw viewers just because of how good he is and how he's going to interact with the other stars they have. And with Billy Corgan and his pocketbook in a position of power, and they managed to get their debts in order, hopefully, and continue to create good storylines. And you mentioned creative freedom, Scotty. Guys like Eli Drake and EC3 are perfect examples. I've worked with Eli Drake for years. He's been doing the dummy thing for a long time. So TNA was like, okay, let's see if it works. And it's worked and then some. I mean, there were people yelling dummy, all through the arena over the weekend.
I know you guys love the Hardys a whole bunch, but
Sure do.
he is my favorite TNA character.
Broken Matt Hardy?
No. The dummy, I mean, how many times did we say that just in conversation over the past 3 days?
It's
or whatever?
so fun to say.
And
It got bitter.
he owns every single moment that he's in that ring, and I believe him and understand him, whereas I still have trouble understanding the Hardys thing. I think now with Jeff, I think I'll be more on board with it.
Sure.
Because they're both selling it together. It was always very disjointed for me to hear Matt being this crazy person and Jeff being like, come on, bro. What's going on?
I'm the normal one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, Jeff's broken now.
He's broken now, though. Brother Nero is in the house.
We mentioned Damien Sandow. We mentioned, I'm losing track of my notes here. Damien Sandow. We mentioned Eli Drake. We mentioned Ethan Carter III. all were dropped by WWE.
Yes.
All didn't see the potential in them. From NXT, or I forget at what point Eli Drake was in his career there.
Sandow was on the main roster for years, but Eli Drake spent a full calendar year at NXT and then was released. Derek Bateman, EC3, he was there for quite some time. He was there at FCW, then transitioned in NXT. He was there for a number of years. But when it came down to it,
they didn't see anything in them. And same thing with Sandow. Is yes, he was on the main roster, and the crowd was going crazy for him. And then just they go like, meh, nothing. They don't do anything. But, you know, if you want to say WWE reject, they go there. I never like that. I never like that that's the case. Because you go where there's a job. And if that job sees something in you, that's the place to be.
Exactly.
And these guys are doing so much for themselves, and they're becoming stars there.
That's why I'm always thankful for TNA, is that they are at least another player in the game that can help these guys, you know, make a living at this thing that we love and they love. And that's always nice.
I wonder what it's going to take for them to become as watched as WWE, though. Like, what does it take to get to that level?
You got to be on a bigger channel than Pop.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's possible. But bottom line is we want every company to thrive, and we want people to have jobs. And like you mentioned, the three of them, by the time they went through everything they've went through, they realized, all right, I know who I am. I know I can be a star. I'm just going to show up and do it. EC3 took the bull by the horns. Aaron Rex is in the middle of doing it. And Eli Drake, he's been with TNA for a little bit, but all of a sudden you got the dummy, you got the fact of life. You got just the overall obnoxious attitude about the character, and he's owning every single second of it. And that's the beautiful thing about it. It's fun to watch because it is an alternative, and it's different.
So is Aaron Rex a precedent? Is Aaron Rex the guy that starts something? Is he the guy that starts free agents taking a look at TNA and thinking that's a viable option now? Is there any free agents out there that you can think of that might be?
Heath Slater, the hottest free agent in the world right now. I think you should get a look at TNA, Heath.
Good call.
I mean, geez.
There's a lot of bad press and bad word of mouth for TNA.
Yes.
So they have a lot of ground to make up for. So it's good that guys like him can go post Brother Nero. I mean, they could be a game changer there, but at least it's getting that word of mouth. And with Billy Corgan taking the reins, I think it can really change the trajectory of this company and hopefully get away from, I mean, how many people have we heard say negative things about TNA from the past?
A lot.
And so that's still out there, and that's still a thing you have to get past. So I'm just happy that there is change in the air.
Absolutely. And when it comes down to it, will it be a precedent? We can only hope, but I think it's going to come down to Billy Corgan and the regime and the finances. And let's hope TNA has their footing and they continue to thrive, and Pop TV helps them do that. And bottom line is just give them a chance. If you haven't watched in a while, I'm telling you, there's going to be something you enjoy seeing every single week. There are so many. The roster is just so talented and so good, and they give it their all. I mean, hell, you have people like Shane Helms, who's now on TV just about every single week. He's being a mentor for a couple of guys, but just seeing him on your TV, he's a legend.
You have guys old and new who have brought something new to the table. You got Al Snow doing fun, creative, different stuff.
Al Snow reinvented himself.
Yeah, there's a lot of reinvention. There's a lot of whatever the case may be business-wise. I don't know. I don't work there.
It's not our job.
But the creative freedom and the things that they get to do artistically seems very fulfilling, and you get to see that on screen.
And there's nothing wrong with that being a place to go after WWE.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that. It does sound safe and a place where people can be creative. So if anybody's giving it a bad light, like, oh, it's the graveyard of WWE has-beens, it's like, but what are they supposed to do? Go home and sit down? No.
No, absolutely not.
Have a safe place to be.
I think that comes from the Hogan days, too. When Hulk and all those guys ended up over there, I think that's where it kind of got that reputation.
People are bitter.
And it doesn't matter what job you're in. When you have full creative freedom at your job, you are a happier person, and you're more likely to continue to be creative. And that seems like the environment that's going on with TNA right now, and we couldn't be more in support of that. And congratulations to everyone that is there. That's making the show so good, and we can only hope that it makes for a very exciting rest of 2016 for Impact Wrestling.
They've got their Bound for Glory coming up, which is the equivalent of their WrestleMania. That's happening on October 2nd. That'll be in the Impact Zone, and I am excited for it. They've been playing this up. They've had the Bound for Glory series. We know that EC3 is going up against Bobby Lashley for the title. There's some little roadblock, I guess you would call it, in between with
what, like a weekend pay-per-view? the day
not that one.
Like Drew Galloway is trying to get in the mix, and so EC3 is putting his spot on the line before that, and we're having a special guest referee, and that special guest referee is Aaron Rex.
And we also can't forget Bobby Lashley held all 3 titles. You don't see that ever. He held the X Division, the King of the Mountain, and the World title. And, of course, he relinquished 2 of them. But that's something that takes balls to do. But
Wait,
if you look
all
at
at once?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He just threw him on the floor.
He was walking around holding all 3 titles because he managed to win them all. But when you look at a guy like Lashley, you'd say, yeah, I could see him winning everything.
Wow.
And credit to him. Bobby Lashley was a guy I was never really into.
He's grown so much.
He's too big as it is anyway. But he was a guy that didn't really have much of a character. He just sort of followed this generic, like, super beast guy. And he's come into his own for what he can do. I'm impressed. I never thought I'd really say that I'm a fan of Bobby Lashley, but he has come into his own and done some impressive stuff, and they are getting on that MMA train with him because he's doing both.
Yep.
And so he's killing it over there.
And if he
cool.
drops both of those titles, then guess what? We get to find out who's going to be the new X Division champ and King of the Mountain champ, or they get rid of the King of the Mountain. Who knows?
I guess I'll have to watch.
You have to. Then you have teams like Decay. Rosemary is one of my favorite performers
She pretty.
in wrestling right now. She's terrifying and creepy, and you believe everything she does, and kudos to her.
Yeah, I think, again, the whole Brother Nero thing allowed Decay to kind of pick up the ball and get to do some weird, cool things there as well. I mean, that's where they can really excel is, it seems like they invested in a couple of drone cameras. Eli Drake had
Just
that
one.
shot.
Vanguard 1, sir.
Just the Vanguard one. You might be right, actually. It might just be... But Eli had that shot where he's on the mountaintop and the drone is like flying above him as he raises his hands. But yeah, I mean, that's where I think they should focus a lot of their energy. And I was always I don't know if the performers like it as much as I do, but the 6-sided ring, things that make them different and make them be their own product. That's where you need to, don't try and play catch up with anybody.
Yep.
Try and create your own path. And I think things like Brother Nero and Decay and things like that are getting them to a place that WWE maybe isn't willing to go or just, is focused in a different area.
And also Mike Bennett, Maria Kanellis been worth every penny.
Ah, yes, indeed.
I love what they're doing.
Maria is great.
Now, Moose is on board. Obviously, he was a big star in Ring of Honor. A lot of people are excited about him, and he's just starting there, so we'll see how he progresses as well. So.
Yeah, they're acquiring talent. They're starting to get some people that are, of name or that have been someone somewhere. They're a fun option. That's what I always like to think. It's like if you're getting that WWE burnout, if you're getting the burnout from Lucha or whatever it is that you heavily indulge in, don't walk away from wrestling. Just check out something else every so often. And TNA is always a fun option that there's something going on. And one guy who I'd like to mention, he's starting to get back in the mix again, Rockstar Spud.
Hell yeah.
That guy is an amazing performer.
You can do it all.
I think he got kicked in the face, and he's got braces now.
Oh, I like him better already.
But yeah, there's as many great players as there are. There's always players in the background waiting to be picked up, and there are also so many other wrestlers out there on the indies waiting to get that break, and they got something special. And who knows? Maybe we'll start seeing them pop up here.
Let's hope so. So with that said, we are at Fox Compadres on Twitter and Instagram, Facebook.com/Fox Compadres. I'm Jonny Loquasto. That's Carrlyn Bathe. That's Dale Rutledge. That's Scott Narver. Make sure you just stay tuned. We have shows every single week, audio, video, everything you need. Check it out. Fox Sports. See you soon.